Well, hello, folks. How in the world are you? Are you ready for a great day? A great day of Clash Royale? Of Clash Royale played competitively, where winning or losing is more than just trophies or ranks, more than just getting a chest or having to go back in to get your chest one more time. Pride, recognition, notoriety, and yes, even some money on the line today as we jump into our 7th week of the GKR Leagues. Week 7, day 1, and what a day it's going to be. Current standings through 6 weeks of play. CALALAS up on top, 5 wins, 1 loss. Shock-13, no relation, tied for 2nd place, or technically in 2nd place, but very tight against the also 4-2 rising SUN ESPORTS. But the big important thing this week, the fight for 4th place. That's right, because there are multiple teams all in contention for that 4th place spot. BCN Pro Team, OLIMPO Squad, Strangers, and TitanStars Alliance, all in the mix. All with a chance to make it into that playoff spot. OLIMPO Squad in control of their own destiny. A win tomorrow will secure that space. But OLIMPO Squad will have a difficult match tomorrow when they face the 3rd place rising SUN ESPORTS. So can BCN Pro Team get a win today over TitanStars Alliance? Or can TSA make the big leap up and threaten the spot currently held by OLIMPO Squad? All that and more today. Well, some of that. Not all of that. Some of that. Hello, everybody. How are you? Let's turn off the overhead light and set the mood. The right mood for the right game. Hope everyone here is doing well and excited and ready for our first match, and actually, I'll give you more information on that, our only match of the day. TitanStars Alliance against BCN Pro Team. First set, the 3v3 BO1s. A set I've come to really enjoy. And a big bevy of bans. Triple B, I said there. Didn't need to alliterate, but I did. That's the skill I bring here on occasion. Hog, Miner. How is a Lumberjack a spell? Let me go ahead and check with League Operations as to how Lumberjack is on there. Well, I'll get some more info on that soon. Are these bans even close to being correct? Maybe it was meant to be Rage. Is a good point being made in our Twitch chat. Wait, did that even come up? Where's the chat? Chat, where are you? Let me go ahead and see why the chat's, there's supposed to be a chat up there. Let me see where it's, oh. Please hold. Let's try this one more time. No, very interesting. So the chat's, give me a second to try to unbreak the chat. Unbreak my chat. Make it work again. Make it, whoa. I'd really like my chat to show up in this overlay. Let's see if that fixed it. All right, test, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Maybe it was meant to be Rage. The point being made. I think that's probably the correct point. Let's go ahead and jump into it. And yes, it has been changed. So first game of the day, Cruz versus Sandbox. Hog, Miner, Giant Skeleton, Golden Knight, Rage, Lightning, Pump, and the Mortar all banned. What a collection. And people asking about Ian and Mo Light. Well, Mo Light's team isn't playing today. He's on CALALAS. And Ian is scheduled to appear as the final player of King of the Hill for BCN Pro Team, if we go that far. The big question, of course, being, will we ever make it that far? Drill versus Pigs here to kick things off between Cruz and Sandbox. We'll see what Cruz's plan is for the drill, because he kind of has to spend a Fire Spirit on the first Goblin and then log the second. Or log the break of the drill. But it feels like he's going to have a lot of difficulty throughout, as we've already seen, trying to stop these drills. Second test up here, Fireball in. And you see the delivery. Still, this should be pretty simple for Sandbox to take all the way to the house. And this will be a fairly simple win. You know, it's interesting. With Lightning banned, you're looking at your opponent either playing Fireball or Poison most of the time. And it would be surprising, considering how popular Royal Hogs are right now, to see someone play Poison and not have a solid answer behind the Poison for dealing with Royal Hogs. So there you go. Game number 1 down. Sandbox over Cruz. Egoist saying, why ban cards? That's a great question there, Egoist. And the main reason is, if you watched something like the Queso Cup, where we played unrestricted King of the Hill, we saw the same decks over and 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 over again. Banned cards create some variability in the gameplay, in the deck picking. It requires the analyst to actually do some work. When you're in dual mode, which we have in set number 2 here, there's no bans, obviously, because dual mode already inherently creates a ban situation. But in just regular gameplay, just, hey, you pick a deck, I pick a deck, and we go in, you're playing too much matchup randomness. So I think this is kind of a lot. Maybe this might be an excessive number of bans, but it does create a mini meta that the analysts have to work around and figure out what to use and what not to, and how to do it effectively. So I like it. I like the bans. And the Lightning ban here, I don't know why it's an LMAO. I guess it's not as popular as Fireball right now, and a lot of decks that run Lightning, but E-Giant still runs Lightning typically. And some RG. RG, like, tends to go Fireball, but again, still does run Lightning with a decent degree. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 2, Will versus Wallace. And again, both these teams need a win today. BCN Pro Team, with a win today and a loss by OLIMPO squad to Rising Sun, would guarantee themselves a spot in the top 4. Also, a quick sweep by BCN Pro Team would put even more pressure on OLIMPO squad, which is probably one of their other big questions, one of their other big goals, to have a shot at trying to leapfrog them into that number 4 spot. Hi, Rich. I don't play CR anymore because it crashes all the time, but I still enjoy your commentary a lot. What device are you playing on? 'Cause I rarely ever have crash issues. That's an interesting problem to have. Unfortunate, too. But to be fair, I stopped playing Brawl Stars because no matter where I play, I lag like crazy. Even playing on my home network that has fiber internet. So I understand that entirely. So Wallace looking like RG Fireball here. And Will looking like RG Fireball here. Rich, great job making that call when they're both 6-7 cards in. Yes, I was looking at chat. Nice little Fireball value there for Wallace. Who's very quietly put himself into a top 30 position in CRL this year. He's at 125 points. Currently, you need 190 to be in contention for one of those top 7 ranked spots. And as we know, one really great month can make that happen. The question is, will that happen for him? Speaking of Will, his opponent, currently 26th in the standings with 130 points. And that RG gets turned around a bit, does do some good damage, but it's the Ghost that's the real problem here. And just like that, Wallace has blown this one wide open. A little bit of damage on his side, but it really seems like the Mother Witch versus Ewiz is a huge distinction between these two right now. As the Ewiz can attack the Monk of Will. The Ewiz does not die to Fireball. Whereas the Mother Witch gets reflected by the Monk, dies to Fireball, and really has no good picky targets. You'll see it might get one, but it's not able to stack them. You add in the fact that the Ewiz can stun. And while the Tombstone can do some work for Will on defense, it's not making up for the offensive pressure of the Royal Ghost. Still, only about 520 HP, 530 to be more precise, separating these two as we go into our final minute of gameplay. So who knows how this one shakes out in the end. And that's a good log Fireball. And that RG is going to do some real damage here. Again, the Mother Witch and Fishboy both getting hit by the Fireball is a problem for Will, but how big of a problem now that he's in the lead? The opposite lane Ghosts may be beginning to cause more problems, more harm than good for Wallace, as he's been left wanting in the right lane for DPS against these Royal Giants. And now he goes full opposite lane here. Ewiz to stun, no Fishboy to pull, but enough DPS, he does get it down, 679, and there's a very healthy Royal Giant on that left-hand tower. Very, very healthy indeed, and boy was I wrong. The Ghosts do enough. GG, well played, and that's an easy 2-0 in the first set for BCN Pro Team. Ooh, boy. Crushing it. Next up will be our dual mode set between Will and Sandbox. We'll see if Sandbox can really help his team out and get a quick sweep out here. Question from the Twitch chat, do I think Mo will win this monthly final too? 40% chance? 50% chance? There's legit players in this monthly final. Adriel, Mugi, Pedro, all of them are legit threats. Faust can do it. Sosa's probably underrated. Hugo's been doing this for a long time. And Lord Seb, there's no one who's a truly easy out here. There are some S-tier players, some A-tier players, and some B or C tier players from when you rank them from a pro side, but like no easy outs. Bandit is good here, but it's not. It was not banned, but he didn't play it. Isn't Sandbox on Shot CALALAS? Not in this one. And a little hello from Vitor. What's up, dude? Let's go ahead and jump back into gameplay, our duel mode. And Hog for Will to open up. Who is C tier in your opinion? Maybe C tier is a bit harsh. C tier might be overextending, but well, let's put it this way, right? Like, how do you decide things are A tier, B tier, right? Like Mo's S+, he's his own thing. There's maybe like 3 players who are true S tier. I'd say maybe about 10 who are A tier. Maybe about 20 who are B tier. So now we're getting out past like the top 30 or so players when you get out of B tier. I think that Seb has stuff to prove. We'll see if he does it, and this is a great opportunity to do so. Vitor calling this a hard counter by Will with the Hog versus the Graveyard. Rolls of sushi in the building. George Stephenson saying Mo is more like a 70% chance to win, not a 40%. He's beaten all the named competitors competing before. Yeah, but everyone's beaten everyone at some point before. You know what I mean? 70% seems a bit high. Is he the favorite to win? Yes, by far. But you have to win a lot of BO3s, and a BO3, anything can happen, especially in-game duels. He's been able to overcome that so far, though, this season, so who knows? Another Hog shot in for Will. And trying to body block the Hog here the best that he can, but just not much that Sandbox can do. This Goblin Hut just absolutely melts when you throw an Earthquake at it. And it's 5 Elixir on top of that. And Gab on Twitch saying the fact that Mo's such a good coach definitely bumps up his chances a bit, but 70 is a bit much. I think 70 is a bit much. 55, 60 maybe. Keep in mind that on his side of the winner's bracket, he has to face the winner of Adriel versus Mugi. So while he's totally capable of beating Adriel or Mugi, like you talk about those matchups, the Adriel and Mugi, and this is a great little graveyard here, but you can see just nothing doing. While he's totally capable of beating Adriel and Mugi and has done so, they are also both capable of beating him. I might give him a 60-40 advantage in both of those matchups. So there's a 40% chance that he loses, assuming he beats Lord Seb, which he should. There's a 40% chance he loses in the second round of the winner's bracket. And then he'll have to fight his way through the loser's bracket, which he's done many times before, but where he will most likely run into Adriel or Mugi, potentially again, both in the lower and upper bracket. Keep in mind also, Pedro. And now Hog does it easily. Sandbox just like, what can I do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But, you know, you talk about this, and if we look at the bracket, and I don't know if, like, I know that we've just the original bracket. I think you can suss it out from there. But when you look at the original bracket for CRL this upcoming weekend, he plays Lord Seb, who is not an easy out, might be the lowest rated player out of the 8, but certainly not an easy out. And then he has to play the winner of Adriel versus Mugi. 40% chance he loses that, right? 60% chance he wins it. But if he loses that one, he goes down, where who knows what's going to be happening down there. And we'll have to fight his way back up to play against, most likely, Pedro, a possibility. Mugi again. He can meet any of those. Could meet Faust anywhere. Do I think BMing can mess with your opponent psychologically? Maybe throw him off the game. Depends on the person. I know what bothers me. So, you know. Itachi saying Will got the algorithm. Hi, there's no people here, says Mohani. Mohani, we are streaming on both Twitch and YouTube. And we got about a 200-something on Twitch, on YouTube, and 41 viewers on Twitch. So, there are people here. Swamp Wookie saying, I wish we would reopen the Supercell online store again. Yeah, that'd be cool. And, let's see. Fotiskin, can't pronounce that, saying, I think this will be the most competitive monthly final by far. Very, very likely. Lord Seb is sure the underdog. I mean, he beat both Surge and Riley to reach his month's top 8. Yes, he did. I think Surge played. I don't think Surge played particularly well this weekend, or last weekend, and there were some matchup challenges for sure. And I think Riley. I'm curious to see how Riley reacts to his performance in the qualifiers, because I think that the guy has so much potential to actually be a good competitive player, but just hasn't found the desire to really drive for competitive yet. And good protection here. The hard part for Will is that this Musketeer, he just really can't get to her at all. Except unless the Musketeer gets to the bridge and then you zappies Magic Archer her. Smart guards. And it feels like this quick cycle from Sandbox, and a lot of people are talking about this deck right now as being one of the best decks in the hands of a good player. I think Morton might have just done a video on this deck being broken with the top players. Magic Archer for some good value here. Log to resets, does take the damage off the board. And that's a good sequence for Sandbox, who is still not that far ahead. And keep in mind that a good NATO play and excellent little mistiming, or like adjusted timing there out of Will to create the miss. Magic Archer gets the lineups. And man, Sandbox has had no answers for these Magic Archers. And now forced to play Fireball at the bridge, and you're down 1606 to 1047. The right lane drill might do something here. No, the bar barrel's well-timed. Sandbox cycles faster here, but doesn't matter. Magic Archer, picked up by the bomb tower. Got a fireball on offense. Won't matter here, I don't believe. NATO will do enough, and GG well played. Will shuts it down. So here we go, King of the Hill coming up. Good job tying things up by Will and TitanStars. Let's go. Will got 2 phenomenal matchups. Yes, absolutely. All right, so here we go. Those of you who wanted to see Ian, maybe we'll see him today. Let's go take a look at the lineups for King of the Hill. Bans now back in effect for our King of the Hill set. Phoenix, Cruz, and Dudu up against DiegoB, Wallace, and if necessary, Ian will come out in the last spot for BCN Pro Team. We'll see what happens. Again, Hog, Miner, Giant Skeleton, Golden Knight all banned. No Rage, no Lightning. No Pump. No Mortar. And those are the bans for our final set. Again, as a quick note here, our second match of the day was meant to be French Swat versus Shock-13. Shock-13 in second place. French Swat in last place. And French Swat has opted not to show up. And so it's a free win for our second place team. Person with name I'm not going to show on screen. I do not have the Diamond Pass. Doesn't mean I'll never get it, but I do not currently. I didn't get it last season. Martin Severin saying, let's go, Ian. Well, let's see if he gets here. Guards to work on the graveyard. Arrows in this version of the Graveyard Goblin Hut deck, and might have been a bit of a choice here, seeing how much BCN Pro Team is playing that drill cycle deck that they decided to try to snipe the guards, and they've done a good job of it. And this Goblin Hut, if you've been on the channel before, you know how much I think that spawners are mostly absolutely toxic. All spawner buildings, in my opinion, should be underpowered. I mean, let's be honest, I think they shouldn't exist. But if they exist, they should be wildly underpowered. Spawners being strong is very, very bad for the game. Promotes a boring and unhealthy style of gameplay. So hopefully they figure out how to nerf the Goblin Hut now that they've made Spear Goblin strong again. Phoenix rocking his Phoenix and way out ahead. Who are you to decide that? I love Spawn. I think they should be OP as possible. I don't decide anything. I'm a caster and a YouTuber. I have my opinion. And my opinion is that spawners are bad for the game and should be totally yeeted and or at least nerfed into near oblivion. I think that spawners being powerful is bad for the game. You might like them, and you may also have an opinion. Phoenix is just able to put on so much pressure, especially when the best counter to the graveyard is removable for even Elixir. And that's going to be an easy GG. Man, analyst for TitanStars Alliance is getting his money's worth, is giving them their money's worth today. And let's see. Let's go. I think that anytime I exhibit an opinion, it turns controversial. Let's see. Let's see. That's why Bomb Tower is OP. Goblin Head is too much. Always have to respond to it, or else you take too much chip damage. Somehow 1 or 2 goblins get hit. It's just kind of annoying. GY is the worse than a spawner. That's my hot take. GY does not promote slowed down, like, overly defensive gameplay. Tombstone is all right, though, as spawners go. Okay, fair opinion. Tombstone is all right as far as spawners go. A lot of cards have counters to spawners, e.g. Mother Witch. Actually, that's a problem, right? Because cards that are situational, are actually kind of a problem, right? That's the big gripe against Mother Witch, is that Mother Witch is a card that's either really useful or really useless. And that's not a great card design, right? That's not a good. It's a card that lacks balance when it's essentially either totally great, totally killer, when it's so polarizing for matchups. That RG is going to ruin Wallace. Monk comes in, does save the day a bit, so nice last-second Monk. Which gooder pair is that? This is the Waka Waka Wakas. One of my all-time favorites. Piggies for a bit of damage. GY is a lot of defense until double or triple elixir, though. Yes, often, although we've seen more aggressive graveyard play from pros lately. Are these shades very expensive? No, $25 a pair, and if you use code RICH, you can get 15% off. How about that? If you use code RICH, 15% off. Mark, did you use code RICH when you got your Yetis and Sunbathing with Lizards? That's the important question. Piggies plus Goblins plus Ice Spear. Ice Spear's going to give a lot of damage here. Look at that. Just completely sticks that Hunter in its place. Oh, Mark, big rip. Big rip, Mark. $1917, which I think that was the name of a movie. It's 619. And now that this Monk is going to get across the board, does he get the ability off in time before the fish pulls? Well, he does in time for the reflection. Forget the fish pull. And that should be enough to go ahead and get Wallace the game. And there you go, Phoenix waving the white flag. 1-1 here in our final set. GG, well played. All right, let's look at the chat here for a minute. I pretty much only wear gooders, hold up great, are polarized as colors, yes, and they stay on your face because they're made for running. I wear them for disc golf, for everything. GY itself is, as far as I know, the only RNG card in the game. You can put it right on top of towers. Only 2 things that can sometimes fully counter it by itself. Yes, but also it costs 5 elixirs, so often you can use more than one of those things. But again, GY isn't perfect. It's better than spawners. Ice Spirit is OP nowadays. Ice Spirit's real nice nowadays. Also look into Luxottica and see how insanely overpriced sunglasses usually are. Yeah, they're crazy. Markup's insane. Why are those sunglasses good? Sell them to me. These are my favorites. What happened to 2v2? What do you mean what happened to 2v2? What do you mean what happened to 2v2? Here we go. Game 3. Tied up between these two. Madi saying, I think the Spear Gob range buff was too random. It changes too many interactions. Rumham used to like to standardize interactions. Current game designer is just all over the place. Interesting take. Shadow MTV says, nerf the 2 Elixir Goblins and Elixir Golem. That's kind of overpowered. Interesting take. So interesting here that Cruz is going with the Luminary deck, the Minor Prince MK, the drill version. And we've seen this with Minor Out, people playing this as a drill deck. Drill wall breakers. Oh, yes, of course, because Minor wall breakers MK. Silly me. Yeah, they just people playing this as a drill deck. And to kind of a surprising amount of success. Oh, that's just a terrible drill from Cruz. That's a horrifically bad drill from Cruz. Not sure he was going for there. And you see the high Goblin play. Wallace had to take some damage from that Prince. And he should be able to handle the rest of this Queen. There you go. So what really should be a blowout for Cruz right now. Maybe he did overspend, and he didn't have many good options against those pigs, but that drill was just suspect. Maybe that was he's trying to just get it out on the board. People talking about, I think Magic Archer is also in a great spot. And now Cruz spending his Princess to the left-hand side just to preempt whatever sort of gameplay might come down there. And this time, Mega Knight in cycle for the piggies. And going to create some real pressure here now. Bomb Tower does come out to control the wall breakers. Wall's going to use the Ice Spirit just to get that Mega Knight leaping around. This is a good log here from Wallace. This time the drill actually does pull 2. But that's going to be a lot of damage in for Wallace. Mega Knight at the bridge, but I think that the Brazilian will have enough to contend with this when it comes the other way. Archer Queen pressure is big. Is there a Bomb Tower again? Reflection in, very important reflection. Both wall breakers connect. Bandit and Prince need to be controlled. Wallace might cycle here. EQs. Yeah, he does. Bomb Tower's there. He really wants... Oh, he's going to go ahead and play the pigs. He just wants the Mega Knight to come out to that side. Interesting. Gets nothing from it. I was going to say, you think he wants the Mega Knight to go the opposite direction. Is there another Bomb Tower here? There is. Will it matter, though? Ice Spirit. 380 is not enough. GG, well played. GG, well played. And Madi with... this is too long for the screen. Up next, by the way, is going to be Ian. Oh, Ian's coming out next because Wallace lost. There you go. For more explanation, Rumham standardized Prince Ram Rider charge range, Witcher changed to non-standard after Rumham. Spear Gobs always used to hit tower. Yeah, there's like weird... Yeah, the standardization was good. Will Mo play? Is his team playing today? Is my answer to that question. Or is my question for your question? Let's see. Furnace is by far the most annoying card. Nothing can change my mind. I feel you. Firecracker would like a word. Fair enough. Cool Kid. Because of the Mega Draft season, I'm lost. I don't know what decks to play, and I feel like I've gotten worse with everything. I got a top 8K finish with season before, and now I'm struggling. Interesting. Yeah, I actually don't even play ranked right now. I only play Mega Draft challenges because I love Mega Draft, and I really... Mega Draft... I've talked about this before on the channel. I talked about this like on a stream the other day, but I really, really learned... People ask me now, what's your favorite deck? And I've realized, none. I don't like decks. From a casting perspective and doing competitive, I enjoy them. But from as a playing perspective, I don't like playing against or with pre-made decks. I like Mega Draft. And it's crazy how much more I enjoy it than playing pre-built decks. I know that I'm in the minority there, and a lot of people have a different opinion there. There's Mega Draft challenges. Yeah, there's like Classic, Grand Challenge, and Mega Draft Challenge all in the Challenge tab. But yeah, it's crazy how much I loved the Mega Draft season of Ranked, and I pushed Ultimate Champion, got the belt emote, it was great. And then as soon as it switched over, I was like, oh, I have to play pre-made decks against pre-made decks again? Ugh. And so I'm exclusively playing Mega Draft challenges right now. I probably need to play some normal games this week just to spin up on the decks for this weekend. So I guess I will do that, but man, yeah, it's just... George Mega Draft was rubbish. I didn't play the whole season because most of my cards are not maxed. First thing I ever made you see. You didn't have to have maxed cards. George, you only had to have level 11. Mega Draft was only level... Oh, I guess... Oh, no way. That's crazy. Oh, my gosh. Well, folks... I think... Oh, my lord. All right, well, here's the results from the match. For those of you who wanted to see Ian, Ian didn't show up. So, free win for TitanStars, which will almost assuredly eliminate BCN Pro Team from the playoffs. I don't even know why Ian was in the lineup. Why was Ian in the lineup, then, if he's not going to be able to show up? Why are you even doing that? That's crazy. And, of course, French Swat opted not to play today. So, there you go. Absolutely insane. I don't even know who the coach is for BCN Pro Team, but why even put Ian in the lineup? He was online on my friends list, says Air Surfer. That's crazy. Why wasn't he in Clan? Well, there's your standings as of so far, and that's great news for OLIMPO squad, because now they can lose and they still maintain 4th place. I think. Unless TSA. TSA might be able to actually take the spot. But that's bananas. All right, I'll chat for a minute, and then I guess we're going to wrap up since there's no more matches since French SWAT also decided to forfeit. Let's see. They should make a 3rd league and bring back Mega Draft. I would love that. That would be my favorite. How long till next game starts? Apparently there's no more games today. I like making my own weird decks, but Mega Draft is great. I enjoy Mega Draft a lot too. The game is very repetitive otherwise. For me, it is. Right? So I still feel the same way. It's interesting. Different people like different ways of playing. And I didn't realize how much. I think that one of the things about regular classic Clash Royale was how much stress I felt by not having learned the matchups that, like, how do you play this matchup? There's a specific way to play this specific matchup. And then being really frustrated about being in unfair matchups just by random, right? I pressed play, someone else pressed play, and we go in and it's like, oh, coin that they have an 80-20 and I'm not good enough to outplay. They have 100-0. I hated that. And in Mega Draft, more often than not, if you have worse than like a 60-40, it's your own fault for drafting poorly, right? So are there some occasions where the draft is really messed up? Yes. But overall, you're in so much more control of the situation in Mega Draft, and I like that. And it's just like not repetitive. Other things from the chat before we wrap up today. No, I wanted to spend more time with you. I'll chat for a minute. I'm a one-deck Hoggy player. Most of my cards are even level 11. I'm a one-deck Hoggy Q player. Well, some people like that. I'm someone who switched decks pretty much every season, if not that, then every other. Like, I'll switch decks mid-season. Like, I can't play a deck for more. The longest I ever played a single deck was like for 2 months. I cannot play a deck for over and over and over again. I get so bored by it. So some people want to do that, and some people don't. Let's see. How's life going? Pretty well. Making all my cards. Level 11 actually costs more than what I would receive if I pushed a UC on Mega Draft ladder. Okay. I do like Mega Draft. The whole season was a bit long. I understand your side where I don't like pre-made decks. It changed mine up at least 50 times a season. I don't know. It made my know of the meta die. Sure, the meta will repair itself. Don't worry. But yeah, I would like it if there were different tracks. So there you go. What is this league? This is GKR. I will ask you on his next stream. Thank you. Rich the Goat. I'm good at CR, but I'm a one-trick Hog EQ player. Sure. Third Mega Draft League would be tight. I absolutely agree. The only bad thing about Mega Draft is it takes too long. Depends on what you think taking too long is, but I totally understand that feeling. Let's see. Get a deck that's always 40-60. That never happens. I liked Mega Draft because I don't face broken graveyard on meta decks again and lose and lose and lose. Sure. Okay. Worse is when there's no good card you need to 5 seconds to make a decision. That's why you should be using your time while they're picking to plan your routes, right? Like good Mega Drafting is taking that first opening period to really figure out, okay, here's the spell situation. Here are like the spell to cards, like the major spell to card interactions. Let me think about the overall progression is. And then trying to predict what their picks are going to be and prepare picks off of that. I am much better at Mega Draft than I am at Classic, by the way. Like, much better at Mega Draft than I am at Classic. And that's just a fact. By the way, I think you're an awesome commentator. And you have awesome opinions. Thank you very much. E-Giant deck equals no skill. Some people do say that. Where is SB? In Australia? Asleep, I'm assuming. I had fun playing different cards, but Mega Draft definitely had its flaws. First and last pick made a big difference once you got higher. Sure. Although I made my push to Ultimate Champion, like the last chunk, with mostly getting second pick, which was crazy. They should make Mega Draft ladder unlocked to 7,500 trophies on the Trophy Road. That way, if you're at 7,500, you have most level 11 cards. Oh, that's interesting. Mega Draft is a ploy against free-to-play players. Maybe. I don't know. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I like Mega Draft, just not liking the idea of it being the sole ranked path. Sure. I don't know. Here's the hard thing about it, about the Mega Draft thing, and it's kind of over now, right? But the hard thing about it is people have been saying, hey, the game is stale. Hey, we need a new way to play. Hey, like, develop the game. Make the game, take the game to new places. And then they do, and people go, but no, I want the old game back, right? So, like, there's a hard balance there where you're trying to, on one side, thank you for the early happy birthday. I appreciate that. There's a hard balance there between the like, hey, we need to push the game forward, and the game's been stale, and you aren't changing anything, versus, but hey, you took away the thing, our comfort thing that we like. How do you do those two things at the same time? That's hard. Mega Draft is more fun than Classic IMO. Yeah, for some people, for sure. I will comment and not come up with that idea, Sir Tag did. Yeah, I came up with a similar idea, which is they should just open up the path, like the Trophy Road to infinity, or like give Trophy Road a new cap every season, right? Like right now, it's cap is 7,500. Move it to 8,500. Move it to 9,000. Right? Keep moving the cap up. Rich, do a backflip. I don't feel like breaking something. One of my favorite decks is Giant Double Prince. Well, now you're my enemy. Lumberloon is an OP, still good for mid-ladder. People get big mad. Sure. Let's see. I think that's about everything. If you're on Twitch, folks, I'm going to find someone cool to host. But for everyone who's asking about games, the day is over. It was a quick one because our second match, one of the teams forfeit because it was our last place team, French Swat. They didn't see the point in showing up. So yeah, that's it for the day. If you're on Twitch, hang around for a second. If you're on YouTube, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. And tomorrow we actually have a legit day. Tomorrow we have we should have both of our matches because both of our matches have real implications for our overall competition. We have Rising Sun versus OLIMPO squad tomorrow, and then Strangers versus Shock-13. So I think we'll see both of those matches. Maybe not, but that's back here tomorrow, same place, same time. And then, of course, this weekend, we're going to be doing CRL on the official CRL channel. So keep an eye out for that. All right. Well, that's it for today, folks. Twitch, stick around. YouTube, it's been great, as always. Be excellent to each other, and party on, dude. Peace. Let's see if I can end this really well. See how long I held that there? And end the stream on YouTube.